She closed her eyes once again and opened them to hear her father, who stood before her. There was contempt in his eyes as he looked down at her, as if he knew her thoughts and feelings, as if he probed her mind and body and shame. Sophia had seen him look at people this way since she was a small child, but it had always seemed more critical, more direct, when he looked at her, and acted as if he knew her guilt. "I'm taking a bath," he said, his heavy purple robe on his thin shoulders, a thin copy of Izvestia clutched in his stick of a hand. Abraham Savitskaya's body and face were sagging, gray and thin, skin furrowed and arid, his beard, once black, flecked with gray, which matched his skin. Sophia looked at her father and saw decay, and knew no bath would return the moisture and sinew to the man. As much as she had hated and feared his moods in the past, she would have preferred them to this walking death that entombed both the old man and her. Her memory of hatred flared unbidden, and Abraham's gray eyes saw that hatred and glistened with the possibility of long-gone battle. She thought he might strike her for her present thoughts and all her thoughts and feelings in the future. She tensed and awaited the blow, willed it, wanted it, would take anything to make the dry stick of a man who was her father live again in the present, raise her from her chair to battle him and be abused by him, anything to challenge a lifetime of growing smaller in that room, with its Moscow white walls peeling like dead skin. But the passion had gone from Abraham's eyes before it had even built to certainty, and he turned, went into the hall, and padded to the communal bathroom. Outside, Lev and Kostya's voices were shout to shout, their faces nose to nose. There would soon be blows, and she would have to pull herself to the window shouting and hoping a passing man or woman, or Comrade Myangu from the first floor, would go out and yell at them that the ghost of Lenin would send a bolt of white lightning into the middle of the street, as a warning to the nasal children of Israel to swallow their anger and bite their tongues. Sophia laughed hysterically, imagining the fire of Lenin burning on Balaclava, and the old women on their stoops holding their sagging breasts in awe at the ghost stepping in to stop a fight between two boys. At what point, Sophia wondered, did her father's God step in the way Comrade Myangu promised that Lenin's ghost would appear? Did it take murder, war, earthquake to stir him to act? Or was there nothing in the filth of human conduct that interested him any longer? She imagined God like her father, tired and old and indifferent, which put everything on her thin shoulders, exactly where everything had been since her brother Leonid had died more than a year ago. Abraham stopped near the bathroom at the sound of her laugh down the hall. "What?" he shouted with distaste, unwilling to come fully out of his own thoughts and dreams and deal with hers, but unable to ignore that single, unprovoked shock of a laugh. "Nothing," she said, stepping into the hall. "I was thinking of something Maya told me this morning." Abraham turned his eyes from her toward the open window, in search of some Maya of the distant past, and then went into the bathroom, locking the door behind him. Sophia heard him turn on the water and knew he would soak for hours in the tepid water, further shriveling his dry skin, turning him more into a mummified version of that man she could barely remember. She returned to their two-bedroom apartment and closed the door. Now the voices of the street were screeches and threats and words with no thought or meaning, only the mad offspring of wet heat and boredom, as Sophia pushed herself from the chair, her back soaked with sweat and her bare lower legs sticky. The wooden floorboards creaked when she slowly crossed the room.